Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. And this might be the best sporty performance SUV that you can buy. This is the BMW X3, but it's packing the legendary B58 straight-six engine under the hood, which makes it the M40 version. And while we've had a lot of experience with the previous car, this is the LCI, or facelifted version. So is it still the best sporty compact SUV on sale? That's what we're here to find out. And how could we not start by addressing the beating heart, the B58 engine from BMW? However, there is a difference between this one and the pre-facelifted one. This B58 has a 48-volt mild hybrid system attached to it. That 48-volt system itself is good for 11 horsepower, but it's not exactly intended to boost performance much on its own. The system is intended to take load off the engine by running onboard electronics, etc. This allows the engine to better turn its explosions into speed. Interestingly though, the addition of the 48-volt mild hybrid system doesn't alter the 382 horsepower and 369 pound-foot claim from the last X3. But here's the thing. We all know this engine is underrated. It's making more like 420 horsepower, and the 48-volt mild hybrid system does do helpful things like smooth out start-stop and gear changes from this already good ZF 8-speed transmission. What it results in is 0 to 60 in just about 4 seconds. That's pretty impressive. There's no surprise this X3 M40 is quick, but as a sports SUV from BMW, there's also an expectation that it can get around corners. And no surprise it goes around corners really well too. I mean, of course not as well as a coupe or a sedan or something low slung, but in terms of sport SUVs behind the wheel, this shares a place near the top with things like Porsche Macan GTS's. It's got adaptive suspension, it's got nice and progressive steering feel, it's got an LSD brake actuated out back. I mean, even in these wintry February conditions, this thing is really, really rewarding behind the wheel. However, this X3 and M40 guys has been accused in the past of being too narrowly focused on sporting performance, and it doesn't split the personality enough to deliver a luxury level ride. So does that still ring true for this facelifted model? Now, to address this, we have to think of things in relative terms. With the raised ride height of an SUV and with the higher roofline, there's more weight higher up. And what that results in is the suspension needing to be a bit stiffer to deliver the same sporting performance that it would otherwise do in something like a lower slung sedan. And yes, the X3 has adaptive suspension, but even dialed back into comfort mode, it's still a little bit stiffer than of course you'd have in the 4-cylinder, the non-M40 version. But again, you bought an X3 with M badges all over it, so you probably saw this coming. And in truth, while the ride isn't like boaty, floaty, old luxury, it's still nice and comfy, and the cabin is nice and quiet and refined. So with that, let's step outside and talk about the more obvious changes for this facelift. Okay, so behind the wheel the changes are subtle, but they bring more performance, they bring more refinement, and they bring more efficiency. But on the outside here, well, the changes are a little less subtle. Well, first of all, we've got it dripped in crisp alpine white paint, and the LCI has addressed a bunch of the items on the face. For one, the grille shape is a bit different. The headlights are a more minimal and jagged design. The lower fascia and intakes are a bit more dramatic, and of course, all these accents are blacked out with the shadow line package. And then around the side, we're sitting on specific 19-inch wheels. From there, we have the typical front fender grille for style accenting. You've also got the M wing mirrors for a more aggressive stance. And then simply from the profile, it's a nice conventional SUV shape that maximizes headroom and trunk space. And then as we get to the rear, there's another big update. You've got the Halo energy stored taillights, you've got a more aggressive rear bumper and diffuser, and of course, you've got the black finished M Sport dual exhaust. Ultimately, from an aesthetic perspective, I think with these changes, this is a super handsome and Aside from the X5, probably the best looking BMW on sale today. Let's step inside. And then the sporty feeling continues on the inside with the Tacora red interior bringing a little bit more personality and flair, and BMW has some of the best fit and finish and build quality in the game today. The design itself isn't too dissimilar from the pre-facelift, but the center screen is upgraded. It's still running iDrive 7, but the screen is bigger, brighter, and faster. And that still means you get great stuff like wireless CarPlay, 360 cameras with augmented reality, reverse assist, and the overall system is just really nice and easy to use with touchscreen or wheel control. You've also got a digital cluster and head-up display, and then you've got luxuries like heated seats and heated steering wheel. You can get cooled seats if you want to. And you get this awesome and huge pano roof, and the rear seats get a lot of light to make them feel bigger, which is good because they're not the biggest. They're bigger than the Macan by quite a bit, but they're smaller than a GLC and a Q5. And then there's the trunk, which is nice and spacious, and the rear seats fold in 3 different ways. So the interior is built well, it's got some style, it's got great tech, it's got some relaxing luxuries, and there's not really much to complain about. But with that, let's get into the final thoughts. So the BMW X3 M40i. The new changes continue to cement it at the top of the list if you're looking for getting the most out of a sporty compact SUV without spending Porsche money. With all the performance, features, and style here at an as-tested price of $68,600, it's not cheap, but it's most certainly worth it. Thanks again to our friends at International BMW, and we'll see you in the next one.